and then like apologize later than it is to make sure that you dot all your I's now and then like just not get stuff done.
So it was a little bit of a renegade philosophy and a disrespect for authority that led to the Facebook motto, move fast and break things.
Never heard of Facebook?
I was going crazy for Facebook. Creates its own world that you get sucked into.
We started adding things like status updates and photos and groups and apps. When we first launched, we were hoping for, maybe 400, 500 people.
The first 100 million and the next 100 million.
So you're motivated by what? Building things that change the world and in a way that it needs to be changed.
Who is Barack Obama? The answer is right there on my Facebook page.
Mr. Zuckerberg.
What's up, son?
In those days, move fast and break things didn't seem to be sociopathic.
If you're building a product that people love, you can make a lot of mistakes.
It wasn't that they intended to do harm so much as they were unconcerned about the possibility that harm would result.
So just to be clear, you're not going to sell or share any of the information on Facebook.
We're not going to share people's information except for with the people that they've asked for it to be shared.
Technology optimism was so deeply ingrained in the value system and in the beliefs of people in Silicon Valley
We're here for a hackathon, so let's get started.
that they'd come to believe it as akin to the law of gravity, that of course technology makes the world a better place. It always had, it always will. And that assumption essentially masked a set of changes that were going on in the culture that were very dangerous.
From KXJZ in Sacramento.
From my page, you're 27.
Mark Zuckerberg's quest to connect the world would bring about historic change and far-reaching consequences in politics, privacy, and technology. We've been investigating warning signs that existed long before problems burst into public view.
It was my mistake.
But for those inside Facebook, the story began with an intoxicating vision that turned into a lucrative business plan.
Well, the one thing that Mark Zuckerberg has been so good at is being incredibly clear and compelling about the mission that Facebook has always had.
Facebook's mission is to give people the power to share, in order to make the world more open and connected. More open and connected. Open and connected. More open and connected.
How pervasive a mission was that inside of the company? Give me a sense of that.
It was something that, Mark doesn't just say when we do, ordered calisthenics in the morning and we yell the mission to each other, right? We would actually say it to each other, when Mark wasn't around.
And that was a mission that you really believed in.
How could you not? How exciting. What if connecting the world actually delivered a promise that we've been looking for to genuinely make the world a better place?
Was there ever a point where there was questions internally about this mission being naive optimism?
I think the short answer is completely yes. And I think that's why we loved it. Especially in a moment like when we crossed 1 billion monthly active users for the first time. And the way I recall Mark at the time, I remember thinking, I don't think Mark is going to stop until he gets to everybody.
I think some of us had an early understanding that we were creating, in some ways, a digital nation state. This was the greatest experiment in free speech in human history.
There was a sense inside the company that we are building the future, and there was a real focus on youth being a good thing. It was not a particularly diverse workforce. It was very much the sort of Harvard, Stanford, Ivy League group of people who were largely in their 20s.
I was a big believer in the company. I knew that it was going to be a paradigm-shifting thing. There was definitely this feeling of everything for the company, of this, world-stirring vision. Everyone more or less dressed with the same fleece and swag with logo on it. Posters on the wall that look somewhat Orwellian. But of course, in an upbeat way, obviously. And then, some of the slogans are pretty well known. Move fast and break things. Fortune favors the bold. What would you do if you weren't afraid? There's always this sort of rousing rhetoric that would push you to go further.
Antonio Garcia Martinez, a former product manager on Facebook's advertising team, is one of 8 former Facebook insiders who agreed to talk on camera